Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to Social Days Flying Circus, where we provide you with only the very finest pretend, fake, ersatz aeroplanes in the business. And today we are continuing that trend with the third and final sector of this flight from London City to Kennedy and then back again. I almost said Speedbird One, but technically today we're Speedbird 2 going back to London City. We're going to be leaving Kennedy. We'll fly across the Atlantic. We will go land at London City, and that doing so will involve flying the 5.5 degree glide path on the ILS approach into London City, which is an extremely steep approach, basically, if you're not familiar, where you're kind of almost falling with style all the way down to the runway, where you try not to hit it like you're hitting an aircraft carrier. It's pretty exciting. It's good fun. I've never done it in the A318. I've done it in the E-Jets, the Embraers that fly out of London City before. I've never done it in the A318, so it'll be quite interesting to see how it goes. Aerosoft did model this with the steep approach, fun, goodies and toys in there, so it's ready for the job. We're at Kennedy. We're at the correct stand and terminal this time. We're at stand 2 at Terminal 7, and as you can see behind me, a 777 Cathay has put pushback and he's about to go. He's been sitting next to me for quite some time while I've been doing my flight planning. Looks like he's about ready to get on his way though, so yeah, other than that, nothing else here. It is 4 o'clock in the afternoon, just gone here in the UK, therefore it's still pretty early over in the US. No controllers. By the time we get over to the UK, it will probably be about 1 in the morning for me, so there will probably be no controls on the other side. So I'm afraid if you were... I mean, yeah, what can I say? I wasn't expecting control at London City anyway, because there's almost never any on there, but yeah, unfortunately it's going to be another video devoid of any interaction with ATC, and I apologise for that, because I do feel... oh, dear. Apparently got a bit of stage fright. He's gone. I do feel that videos and streams are greatly enhanced when you do have air traffic control to interact with. It makes for a much more compelling viewing experience. And he's back again. I guess his internet must be a bit funny. So yeah, no, I do apologise for that, because I do think it kind of sucks that we don't have that going for us. But anyway, I will stop babbling. Get on board and start prepping this thing ready to go. I'm in a bit of a rush this afternoon, so let's get on with it. Okay, here we are, back in the oh-so-familiar Airbus A320 series cockpit. I suppose we better jump to it. Catering trucks are inbound. Passengers will start boarding once the catering boys are done. We've just literally got to get everything switched on and ready to go. So, fuel pumps to automatic. Do we have external power or not? What's going on here? No, apparently we didn't. We're also missing our cones and wheel chocks and things as well. There we go. I can hear the avionics fans wearing up and stuff. Okay, batteries are on. Fuel pumps are sorted. Adheres to nav. The IRS adheres. Whatever. If we can get away with calling that a McDo, I can call it those adheres as far as I'm concerned. Lights and nav lights, overhead panel now sorted. Get the displays switched on, like so. And we'll get inputting things into here, and I will bring up the briefing document and walk you through what we're going to be doing today. The specifics, I suppose. Reset IRS to nav. We can do that. Align. Going from KJFK to EGLC. Alternate today is Gatwick. Not that I expect we will need to divert. Flight number is Speedbird 2, without any of the zeros. I since learned that you don't put the zeros in, you just put Speedbird 2 like that. Cost index is going to be, I believe, 15. Or is it 25? Is it 25? I think it's 25. And our cruise flight level is going to be 370. Ooh, 3. Let it count. 370. Excellent. Back over to here. We'll get our fuel and stuff plugged in. I'm a little wary of this because we got lucky when we did this previously. The fuel burn on the Aerosoft A318 is a bit suspect. We'll put it that way. According to SimBrief, our fuel for today is 16.7 tons. I am actually going to add an extra couple of tons to that. So we'll go for 18, or as much as we can get, really. Packs. What do we got for this? We've apparently got 26 passengers with 34 bags. It's a bit much, really. Whatever. Something like that. Arbitrary number for cargo is entered. And let's see. Fuel? Yeah, we're going to go with 18. Load instant. So yeah, the fuel burn is a bit much on the A318 by Aerosoft, which sometimes results in you running out of fuel and crashing into the sea. Which is not great. As a couple of other folks this week who were in my Twitch chat when I was streaming attempted the exact same trip themselves, ran into a very nasty headwind out over the Atlantic and ran out of fuel before reaching Kennedy. So that's not good. So I'm adding an extra 2 tons just to be on the safe side. And if it does come to the worst, there is an exploit with this particular plane that you can make use of. Not in the real thing, obviously, but in the Aerosoft Airbus, if you turn off these fuel pumps, the engines will continue to run, but the aircraft will not burn fuel. So if you do end up in a tight spot where you're basically going to crash into the sea because you haven't got enough fuel, you can turn off the fuel pumps and cheat, basically, if you didn't know that. But I hope we won't have to do that because it's a bit cheesy, but okay. Anyway, that's all loaded in. Block fuel can go in as 18 on that side. On this side, these doors can shut. Now the catering boys are done. There we go. Ground equipment today is being provided by American Airlines. Of all the choices I had available to me, that made the most sense since American and BA are both part of one world. So, figured maybe they'd use the same ground equipment at Kennedy. I don't know. Manage for both of those. And down here, we can go to the flight plan and we can start plugging this stuff in. Departure will be a 4 left, since that's what they're using in real life for takeoff at the moment. I checked on Flight Radar 24, so. And we will be taking the Merit 4. And do we have a transition of some sort? I don't think so. Looks like Merit 4 is that. Or not? Well, okay, hang on, let's try this again. Departure, 4 left, yeah. Here we go, yeah, it's because I scrolled down to get to Merit 4. I need to select Merit 4, then scroll up. Put. There we go, put transition is done. I am going to need to quickly run up a... I'm sorry about the sounds cutting out every now and again. It's because I have to click outside of the sim, and every time it does that, it kills the sounds, even though I've specifically told it not to do that. In the options for P3D, it still does it. It's very annoying. I need to download this flight plan in format that the Aerosoft Airbus can read, because I'm not typing all this in myself in the MCDU, and I didn't actually do this earlier, so which was a bit silly of me. But what can you do? Okay, flight plans. Click and drag this across. Okay, we now have a company route flight plan, so I'm actually going to go back to init and enter this again. Try KJFK. EGLC 01 is what it should be. Please wait. Okay. I'll have to re-enter a few things here. Speedbird 2. Sorry, this is why I'm not in a rush and you make mistakes, unfortunately. Okay, that's done. We go back to flight plan. It's okay. It's still got the arrival in here, which is good. I just want to double check that again. 4 left. Merit 4. Punt. Okay, yeah, now it's in. Now it's in properly. Very good. Very good. Very good. Right. So that's the departure plugged in. Looks fairly straightforward. It's RNAV, so the Aerosoft Airbus should be able to handle it no problem whatsoever. And so I guess I can show you what we're doing today. This is the route for today. We're taking Nat Track Yankee going eastbound. I got a bit confused in the planning process for this, by the way, because I didn't. I had in SimBrief when I was choosing the nat tracks in the route finder, I had the wrong set of nat tracks enabled, and I kept trying to pick a westbound nat track, which is alpha through like the hotel or something, for my eastbound trip, and the route finder just kept coming up with errors and being generally kind of confused. So yeah, just a word of warning to those of you who are also doing this: make sure you've got the right nat track set, because you got half of them are westbound for the day and half of them are eastbound, and you want the ones for the direction of flight you are going in. We're going over at flight level 370 to begin with as well, because we're on VATSIM, and therefore the semicircular rule applies, which means that in real life traffic only ever goes one way across the Atlantic at any time. Usually during the day it's going westbound, and during the night it's going eastbound. So, but on VATSIM that kind of doesn't really apply. So everyone goes both ways, and the semicircular rule applies, which means that if you're flying east, you fly an odd flight level, and if you're flying west, you fly an even flight level, which is why we went across at 380 and we're going back across at 37. Anyway, as you can see, we've got our ETOP circles as well. That is, I'm not sure what is that. That's like the Azores down there. CYYT there as well. You know, Reykjavik up there, Shannon. Yeah, and our alternate Gatwick, and then London City, our destination. So all of our alternate ETOPS alternates are in here as well, which is good stuff. And I have a absolute boatload of NOTAMs and weather briefing stuff, and it's actually ridiculous how big this document is. It's completely mad. So yeah, but it's all here, all the internet information we could possibly ever need for Speedbird 2. JFK to London City. So there you go. Right, anyway, back to the cockpit. I want us to close the doors, which means the passengers are probably boarded. I don't know about the bags yet. Bags are probably done. Actually, yeah, well, it looks like they are. The baggage loaders are not even sort of at the aircraft right now, so I guess we'll shut these as well. Let me just fill out the perf page here. So flaps 2, which gives us our V speeds, our flex temp, our I don't think the Aerosoft calculates center of gravity based on the values you put in the fuel page and stuff, which is why you always get 0.8 units nose up. I will set that anyway. As I've said, it never seems to really be that much of a problem anyway. So okay, we'll leave the takeoff ref page up. We have done pretty much everything else. This is all set here. The only thing I'm missing is initial climb altitude. So if I get the Kennedy SID chart up for the Merit 4, where are you? Don't tell me it's no, don't tell me they've gotten rid of it since I last. No, there it is, Merit 4. Okay, looks a little something like this. So taking off 04 left, so we're going that way. So after our departure, we fly heading 100, and then it'll be radar vectors to Merit, essentially. So there you go. That's it basically. That's why it looks a bit direct coming out of there. 04 left, yeah. So take off and then heading 100. I don't think it's done it quite right here. It's basically just got us flying direct to Merit after takeoff. Which, to be honest, we might as well do, I suppose. No, you know what? No. We'll do it properly. So I'll set heading 100 on there. Initial climb. No idea. We could probably go all the way up if we wanted to, honestly. If I have a look at the SID descriptions. Maybe we'll find something in there that's useful to us. Almost four level. Altitudes, climb and maintain 5,000. Okay, there we go. Good stuff. So we'll put 5,000 in there. In fact, we can open climb it. Why not? Alright, good stuff. Flight director's on. Constraints are set. Heading is set to manual. Speed will be managed. And there we go. There is the departure all set up and ready to go. So let's start the APU. And we'll switch on the beacon. And I will get Phoenix started as well while we're at it. Don't want to forget that. Again. This is what Bab's ACARS software looks like, by the way, if you've never seen it before. You log in, you get your booking, you select it, and then you input your information in here. So we're going at flight level 370. Our alternate is EGKK. Now, flight plan, I will quickly copy-paste from SimBrief without the departure and arrival on the end. There we go. And we can now start. And there's the beep because we're connected to VATSIM. Okay, good stuff. Alright, I shall minimize that on the other screen. APU's coming up. I'll grab the joystick because we're probably going to need that shortly. I mean, you know, flight controls are always a good thing to have when you're actually flying an aircraft. And looks like the APU is up and running. And we can prepare for pushback and departure. Nose left. That's the only way we can push to, so and we will start engines during the pushback. Here comes the tug. So it's going to be about 8 hours going back, same as on the way here. Yeah, well, it'll be quite an achievement, I think, flying that far on a long haul trip, and then topping it off with the classic London City ILS at the end. I'm quite looking forward to this. I think it should be good fun. With all of this, there we go. There's something kind of satisfying about long haul. I know a lot of people don't really understand the appeal, and I kind of didn't either, really, for a while. But there is a tremendous feeling of satisfaction when you do get to finally touch down, and plus the fact that you're going to go away and see slightly more interesting places, I think, than normal. You know, I mean, I like doing short trips where it's all action and you're always doing stuff, like going from Heathrow to Manchester, or Manchester to Aberdeen, or you know, San Diego to LA, or LA to Vegas, or whatever, you know, and that's good fun. But there's something about taking off at your local airport almost, or as close to it, you know, in your home country, and then flying off to a completely exotic destination in the sim and actually getting to see what the world looks like out there on the other side of the globe. It's fantastic. I love it. Anyway, stop nagging now, GSX. Oh, and get rid of that jetway as well. Ooh. Or not. Oh my god. Bit of a texture glitch there, apparently. Alright, we're moving. Engine 2 starting. My cameras have gone weird because I pressed the wrong button. Apologies. The only other thing I'm missing at the minute is the altimeter. Not the QNH. Not the QNH. Because, if you'll recall, we're in America, so we use the inches of mercury. So I do dial in 122 point nothing. I might hopefully get something
Kilo,
from...
Juliet,
Here we go.
Kilo, airport information, Charlie, 0551, Zulu, weather, wind, 213 at 7, visibility, 10, sky condition, 5000, scattered, ceiling, 3000, broken, temperature, 24, dew point, 21, altimeter, 2996, advice on...
Well, there you go, it's already set anyway.
Information, Charlie, Kilo...
Nothing to worry about. Looks like the Cathay finally went. Good stuff. We set auto brakes max. Okay, let's see. Start. Pitch, rudder trim, flight controls, flaps. Yeah. Just wait for the all clear and then I'll put the flaps down. We can arm the speed brake as well, though. Make sure everyone's out of the way before we start moving the hydraulics around, after all. Let's see if I can get... apparently track IR is already running. Is it? It is, yeah. Nice one. I tried running up track IR then and it was just like... Burn. Nope. Good stuff. In that case... Flaps config 2. Turn off the APU and the bleed. And we'll go ahead and squawk mode C. And also do that in VPilot as well on VATSIM. Okay, good stuff. Alright, looks like we're ready to go. I'll do a quick flight controls check. Up and down and left and right. I tell you what, there are a lot of things I take for granted about this plane, but the fact that it just works as the way it should, like the way the ECAM display and stuff switches automatically depending on what you're doing, just so good. After flying the JAR Design A330 last night, which, you know, isn't a terrible plane, I still kind of enjoy flying it. It's just, it's not quite as faithful to the real thing as this Aerosoft Airbus is, unfortunately. Okay, taxi lights coming on, the standby compass is apparently coming out. Go away, thank you. And we are moving tentatively forward. However, I would like to have a look at a taxi chart here. We'll get to the edge of the sort of non-movement area, I suppose, and then we'll give ourselves a little bit of a taxi briefing. This scenery's pretty good though, isn't it? This is FS Dream Team Kennedy Airport. It's pretty good, honestly. Right, this is a serious spot 4 by the looks of things, so I'm just gonna... Oh, no, hang on a minute, there's another one over there. Keep moving. There we go, here's spot 5, right. So, stop here, put the parking brake on. At this point we would call ground and say we're, you know, we're at spot 5 with information Charlie ready for a taxi. But since there's no ground to talk to, I'm going to do a little taxi briefing of our own, and I'm just double checking VATSPY right now to make sure that's the case, but yeah. We'll do a little taxi brief of our own and see what we can come up with. So, we're at Terminal 7, which is over here. So if I have a look at all terminals, need a closer view here really. Well, we're on one of these bits here. One of these Victor, I suppose we're probably in Victor here. Or Victor, or... Eh? Where the fuck are we? Right, we're gonna be turning onto Victor, basically, that's the main point. Oh, sorry, no, are we... No, Alpha, actually. Oh my god. Learn how to read charts, man. Alright, yeah, we'll be turning right onto Alpha, and then we will follow that all the way around to the bottom here. And I've just opened the browser console. Why? Why would you do that? Okay, we'll follow Alpha all the way around, and then we'll get to Kilo, cross runway 31 left, continue on Kilo, and then we'll jump on at Kilo 2 here, and then we'll take off. Basically, that's the plan. We'll see if we can stick to it. So right onto Alpha. Some of these charts are they're a little squished, aren't they? Like if I was designing airport ground charts, okay, and this is just me, but if I was designing airport ground charts, what I would do is I would draw the letters for the taxiways actually on the taxiways, so there's no doubt whatsoever, instead of putting it next to the taxiways, so you can sometimes not entirely sure which one it's referring to. That's what I'd do. I mean, but hey. like you got taxiway alpha, I would, you know, you'd have taxiway alpha drawn in like dark grey or black, and then I put lots of little white A's going down it, just so there was no doubt whatsoever. But anyway. Well, hello Kennedy. I don't know if there's any other traffic about since that cafe's gone. Keep an eye out, as we should be doing when you're taxiing. Yeah, I've barely flown into and out of Kennedy before, really. I did it once ages ago in the 777, and I didn't have any proper Kennedy scenery back then either, so it's sort of a bit new to me, really. I think, realistically, the last time I was here in the sim was, I think, when I did that first Concorde video. Actually. So I'm quite unfamiliar with the airport and the scenery. It is gorgeous, though. It's very good. The FS Dream Team do some cracking stuff. And I believe this airport was... well, it wasn't bought for me by one of my subscribers, but one of my subscribers, or followers on Twitch even, I don't actually have a Twitch partnership, so I don't have subscribers, but you know what I mean, sent me a... I think it was Wayne, sent me a sort of voucher code so that I could get quite a bit of money off of this scenery. And it is bloody good, and I really should use it more often. I just don't... I don't tend to fly in America all that much, certainly on the East Coast anyway. I do quite a bit of flying in the Pilot Edge coverage area, which is like Southern California and San Francisco and whatnot, but... yeah. Probably should do more of it, really. Get out and see the world a bit. Well, obviously I have to come back here at some point, because I'll be doing... I'm going to do more Concorde flights, but I don't think it's going to be to Kennedy. I'm going to go somewhere else. I think Boston to begin with, and I'm thinking maybe Barbados as well. But I'll have to do at least one 777 flight here when I start doing 777 stuff with BA Virtual. And to be honest with you, I might even do a TriStar trip. I don't know if they flew TriStars to Kennedy, British Airways back in the day, but I'll soon find out once I have a look at the BA Virtual Classic schedule. I suppose I could have really just edited out the entire taxi, but fuck it. It's good to chill and just talk to you guys and stuff. I mean, at least I think so. Maybe half of you are just skipping straight ahead, I don't bloody know. TO config's normal. Good. Bit of a wing view as we taxi down here. It's one of these gates here, I think we did the Concorde video from, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. They look familiar somehow though, that's all. Alright. That's runway 31 left coming up. That's where we landed on this when we came in the previous video. Here we go. There's Kilo in front of us here. You can just see the New York City skyline in the background there, can't you? Look, I can't zoom in because the Aerosoft cockpit view is glitched with the EasyDock, but you should be able to just see it out the side window there. Very cool. It's not as good as the Drzviki, or however you pronounce it, scenery I've got for X-Plane, but it'll do. Thank you RAAS for trolling me in the previous video, mainly, but okay, looks like we are clear on the approach. We'll go ahead and cross and make it snappy. Whack on the strobe as we do so. Whoa, bit faster. Right. Okay, and we just take this pretty much all the way to the end, and we'll take the second exit from the end, which will be Kilo 2. I tell you what, it is wonderful having scenery with actual taxi signs. That's something you take for granted a bit sometimes, I suppose, but after using that UK 2000 Heathrow for so long with no taxi signs anywhere to be seen, it just made taxiing 10 times harder than it really should be. I mean, in an ideal world, you know, you almost don't even have to look at the chart, you just follow the signs, but, you know, if your scenery's crap, then you're a shit out of luck, I'm afraid. I suppose it's the one gripe I really have with P3D as a platform is that to get good scenery, you have to pay an absolute bloody fortune. Which is why I think I tend to stick with X-Plane a lot, because there's lots of really quality, high def freeware scenery for X-Plane that you can get. And it's more than just having pretty eye candy, really. It's also having all of the correct ILS frequencies for runways and taxiway layouts and things as well, you know. Alright, here we are, Kilo 2, I think, should be, yep. It's labelled Kilo Alpha here, actually. I don't have a Kilo Alpha on the chart, so this is Kilo 2, though. We're the second taxiway on the end here. So again, just clear on the approach. We won't waste any time once we get on there, though, anyway, so let's go. I don't think we actually need those turn-off lights on at all. You only use them at night, really.
Approaching 04 left.
We are indeed clear for takeoff. For once, Sheila, you got it right. Okay, takeoff config is normal. We already checked that.
04 left.
So let's just get out of here. Okay, flex 57, SRS runway. We're officially moving. And V1 and rotate. Okay, pitching to follow that flight director. Once we clear about 500 feet. Oh well, there we go. Pull that, and then we will fly on our heading of 100 degrees after takeoff. Flaps, keeping flaps 2, and raising the gear. My God, nearly forgot that. That's impressive. Keeping flaps 2. Keep following that flight director, and we're not going to reduce to climb thrust, even if it says reduce to climb thrust, until we can verify we've got positive acceleration, which we will have momentarily. And we do have positive acceleration, so we'll bring the flaps in. Climb thrust. Still pitching on the flight director. I'm finally getting used to the fly-by-wire on this thing, I think, actually. It's not as bad as it used to be. I used to really struggle with hand-flying this aircraft. Flaps up. Speed brakes disarmed. And at this point, I'm just going to try and wiggle that right onto the flight director. And autopilot 1 is now engaged. So, we're climbing to 5,000 feet. Staying below 250 knots. Enjoy the view as we do so, I suppose. It's quite a different view to the one coming out of London. Those are very distinctly American looking streets down there, it has to be said. Okay, we're now leveling off at 5,000. Very good. And at this point, I think we might as well go direct to Merit. Direct. Merit. Our current position. Manage heading is engaged, and we will climb maintain at flight level 190. God, must be pulling at least a couple of G's in this maneuver here. Jesus. Climbing turns for the win, I suppose. Good grief. Well, there it is. Goodbye, New York. It's been fun. I will endeavour to return at some point. Don't know if it will be specifically Kennedy, but mind you, I say that, but it's not as if I've got any LaGuardia or Newark scenery, so it probably will be Kennedy if I come back to New York. So, yeah. Ugh, God, flights are so expensive. I really should pick those up though, because I mean, you know, they're fairly major airports that I could feasibly do quite a few flights into at the end of the day. But you know, I've kind of got X-plane for that. X-plane with the IXEG and the Embraer E170 now as well by SSG. I tend to do a lot of my American flying in an X-plane because of that, actually, because of the free scenery and because my plane set with the MD-80 and the E737 and so on is distinctly American when it comes to X-plane, actually. Also, my view seems to have shifted slightly to the left. Let me just reset that. There we go. I think that's an easy dot glitch when you travel around the world. Your camera inexplicably shifts at points. I don't know why, but it does. Alright, well, get the terrain view up. We can put the airports on. Oh, how about no, actually. So we're going to carry on up here, and we'll pass off. We'll go over Boston. In fact, we will fly directly over it, because we'll be going over the Boston VOR. We'll head over Boston, up the coast, and we'll cross over Newfoundland, I believe. If I have a look at the OFP here, be able to see our exact route of flight. Yeah, we'll go straight over Newfoundland. And then out into the Atlantic. So, but yeah, and over Halifax as well. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm afraid the interesting bit is largely over. It's just a case of now settling down into the cruise. Looking at the few bits of land we've got left before we hit miles upon miles upon miles of just ocean and nothing else. And yeah, I will see you guys on the other side. So enjoy the music and the views and all that crap that I usually edit in. I'll see you later. Toodles.